Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Glenn Mills. It is time to go inside Utah politics, and we do begin with Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson. Jenny, welcome back to the show. Good to have you.
Great, thanks. Always happy to be with you, Glenn.
This is a full 4-year term. You've been the mayor for 2 years, taking over after Representative Ben McAdams was elected to Congress. What do you think you've done over the last 2 years that leads voters that will lead to voters wanting to re-elect you again this year?
Well, thank you, Glenn. You know, it's been a challenging 2 years, especially this past year. But my team and I have risen to the occasion. Unfortunately, in March of last year, everything was turned upside down for all of us, for our families, for Salt Lake County, and for the need in this nation and community. And I'll tell you, we hustled, we got to work quickly. We created a series of interventions to combat COVID-19, and we have seen success. We've seen some times along the way, including right now, where we need additional interventions. My team's working as we speak on those interventions, and I'm incredibly proud of the work we've done. There are other things that are happening at Salt Lake County that don't really relate to COVID, and our teams are being nimble and committed, and I could not be more proud of the service Salt Lake County is providing. And you know, I know that people get frustrated with government. We see it from the top down, but there's ever a time for people to feel good about their government, it's now. We have delivered at Salt Lake County, and we will continue to deliver.
Let's dig into that a little more. Obviously, no one saw this coming, as you pointed out, and there was not a playbook, so to speak, for you and other leaders to go by. But looking back, if you say everything didn't go perfect, what are some things maybe you would have done different now having the hindsight?
Well, we at Salt Lake County came together in a different way very quickly in our unified command structure, which meant our health department director and I and our emergency management team were a united front each and every day, and that gave us the ability to act nimbly and quickly. We created quarantine and isolation operations to get people in need safely quarantined. We created and supported the state in testing, even expanding the state's efforts when we recognized there were communities in need. We created a program to distribute millions of dollars to small business and very small businesses that were impacted. We did so much well. The one thing I would like to have seen differently is a statewide requirement. I feel the pressure in my county from areas that throughout the state who do not wear masks, and that is putting some pressure on the south end of our valley right now. We're also seeing a community-based decision to open up schools. And as a mom, I get it, but we're concerned. So we want more compliance among that group of individuals, from young people. And we fear a little the spread to families. So we continue as Salt Lake County, just day by day, double down on the need.
On the statewide mandate theme, let's talk about that a little more. We have seen you and Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall really on different sides of the coin with state leadership. It appears from what we have seen to have been a cordial relationship, but do you stand by the steps that you have taken in Salt Lake County when, as you mentioned, many other counties in the state have taken a different approach?
Well, I can tell you, late June was a very dark moment for me, my team, in this county. We were seeing cases on the rise. What I did have, I'm not a health expert, but I have health experts at my side, as I mentioned. And with the support and with the commitment and their leadership, I was advised that a mask mandate would work. And I implemented a mask mandate. We saw cases fall in July. You can go to our data dashboard at saltlakecounty.org. Health, and look at that dashboard and see those cases fall. And it was because we went from 60% compliance in late June to over 95% compliance. And not only that, small business was coming to me saying, wait a minute, I'm having fights at the door of my small business and I can't operate because of this discretionary issue over masks. So not only did we create stability for business, declined health, but we additionally saw consumers confident. We saw people going out more, sitting on patios and dining, and that is one of the reasons our economy is actually hanging in there in Salt Lake County. Government matters, the decisions I made matter, and I'm very, very, again, proud of the hardworking people.
We're starting to see Salt Lake asked to go back into the orange phase. Do you believe the county needs to do that as well?
Well, you know what, we support government, local government, seeing things in their communities that can be done differently. Over time, we've seen more cases in Salt Lake City. So when a mayor comes to me, Mayor Mendenhall, we said, hey, Mayor, or I said to her the other day, of course we'll advance this question up to the state for consideration.
So as far as the county is concerned, you're still comfortable with the yellow stage?
Right now we're yellow, and right now we're doubling down on every other thing we can do.
Let's talk about Olympia Hills and the broader problem there, housing affordability. You came out in favor of Olympia Hills, and there was a lot of backlash on that. Do you still stand by that, or was it right for the county to back off of that?
So I think everybody knows, especially in this state, private property owners have rights. Salt Lake County didn't wake up one day and say, hey, we want to build a development. A developer came to us with a request, and we realized we would either see sprawl or we would see a planned community. And after a lot of engagement, a lot of time, a lot of effort, we created a requirement for additional housing, affordable housing, open space. Olympia Hills is a much, much better deal due to the work of my team over the past year.
But let's talk more about high density. When we're talking about a supply and demand issue, driving up prices like we're seeing here, is high density the solution down the road?
Well, density to many is a four-letter word, and it's not. It means smart. If it's done right, you can have great town centers with vibrancy, with 2020 and beyond, good modern day living, but at the same time, you can also have you can address growth, and that's our goal. You know, growth continues to be a concern in this valley, and I want everyone to know it's a real issue. So COVID is a short-term issue into the next year, I'm afraid, but our long-term needs in this valley are growth and growth management, and we have to do it well.
And the way things are going, our kids are going to have trouble affording living here down the road.
You know, I talk to young people, my own son in college, and I think about what's around the corner. It's really, really tough. I remember my first home, my first apartment really, and how difficult it was to go to work every day and pay that rent, and then when I was a homeowner, that challenge. I get it, and we're seeing less and less developable land, and we're seeing a lot of growth, and that's leading to a housing crisis. We're not like we're similar to many areas in the nation. I've formed alliances nationally to come up with best practices. We have an amazing team at Salt Lake County that's looking for solutions, and we're actually changing the conversation with cities to make sure that when we support cities with our tax increment, we're doing it wisely and we're doing it with a goal-driven purpose. Okay,
we're running out of time, but I need to get into this. One of your opponents points against you is a tax increase. We saw that last year, 7.8 at property taxes. Do you stand by the need for that, or were there other areas you could have cut without having to do that? Because again, once you raise property taxes, that in turn raises your mortgage payment as well.
Right, well, taxes are complex certainly, and a property tax is highly complex in that the county cannot ever capture in a property tax inflation. So sooner or later, you either cut services dramatically or you end up raising taxes. The tax increase that the council supported and I proposed was supported by every independent elected that runs a division, recognizing it was a stabilizer, not new programs. It was necessary. And what I would ask is my opponent, is anyone interested in serving in government ready to make the tough calls? If you're not ready to make the tough calls to stabilize budgets, which in my case prepared us for a health crisis and also created some stability for our employees. Those decisions are necessary at certain times. I'll make tough decisions. I prioritize health. I also will prioritize a good return for every taxpayer in this county.
All right, Mayor, we are out of time, but where can voters learn more about your campaign?
WilsonForMayor.com. Please reach out. We're doing a lot digitally. It's a different campaign. It's not a door-knocking campaign, but we're out there, and thank you for the opportunity.